Hey folks, Coach Mike Thomas here. Today we're going to talk about the environment, your surroundings, and the impact that it has on your personal health and wellness goals. Let's get to it. So welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. I'm excited to share with you the impact the environment can help you on your personal health and wellness goals. Before we get to that, there's a couple things that I want to share with you. My name is Mike Thomas. I'm a health coach, National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach. I help people to lose weight by incorporating more plants into their diet. My mission is twofold. The first thing I want to do, and I'm doing this through social media as well as my email responder, and I also put out a blog each week, and that is to get the information out about lifestyle medicine. What could incorporating more plants into your diet and lifestyle help you and support you to be more healthy? How about getting more movement? How is getting more sleep going to help you? So there's a lot of evidence base that's out there that shows that you can really improve significantly in your health and wellness by making some lifestyle modifications. The second part of what my mission is to help those individuals that are interested in pursuing some different changes in their lives, potentially getting some more movement, potentially incorporating more plants into their diet. In fact, in February of 2024, I'm going to have a program available called More Plants, Less Weight. I help people in this program to incorporate more plants to shoot for a goal of losing probably 15 to 30 pounds over the course of a year. It's a 12-week program, and I'm excited to be able to offer that. That's coming soon, so stay tuned. So today's topic again is the environment. Specifically, what do I mean by environment? It's not just outside and being in nature, although that's incredibly important as well. It's what's around you, right? It's the people you associate with. It's the places that you're around all the time, like your house and your car and your work, etc. Those things are incredibly impactful to the detriment or to the benefit of your health and wellness goals. On today's video, I want to take some time and really specifically talk about the things around you, not necessarily the people. That's the blog this week. Or what's going on with your mind and how you're feeling your mind. That's also on an email provider this week. I want to talk about the things that are around you that affect you and your health and wellness goals. Again, the impact of the environment, incredibly important. As soon as you leave your house, all bets are off. You go to Ace Hardware and you go buy a hammer, and what do you have there at the counter? You've got candy bars. You're driving home from work and you go past 15 to 20 different fast food restaurants. So the environment has lots of temptations to not necessarily help you with your wellness goals, but actually be a detriment to your wellness goals. I want to talk about specifically in your environment what you can control the most, and that is within the four walls of your house. Before I jump to that, when I coach my clients, I go through a series of foundation calls, and I always get to the environment question. And the question is, what is in your environment that helps you and supports you to your health and wellness goals? And I'll get things like, well, my husband helps me a great deal or not. I'll get things like, well, I have access to the internet and that can help me and support me on my health and wellness goals by finding great information. I have a trail that's really nearby my house and I can walk to the trail and get to the trail and help me to walk and get more steps in, etc. So I love hearing what's supportive and necessarily identifying the things that are not as supportive for somebody's health and wellness goals. And then I follow up with two key questions. The first one is, of those 3 or 4 things that you feel could really help you and support you on your health and wellness goals, what can you do to really embolden or strengthen those things in your environment? And it potentially is for the husband, letting him know how much I appreciate his help and support, which will then foster more help and support in the future. Or being intentional about getting to the trail that we know is in the environment, but we don't necessarily use it as much as we'd like to or we should. Then I follow up with the last question, which is, okay, so all those things that are maybe a detriment to your health and wellness, what are ways that you can minimize, mitigate, or even potentially eliminate some of those challenging things that are in your environment? Then I'll get responses like, the husband maybe that doesn't support is having the conversation with the husband or going home a different route potentially, because when I go the route I go, I see all these fast food restaurants and I'm not in a place right now where that temptation is really helpful or benefit for me. So there's lots of things that people identify that could potentially be a detriment to their health and wellness, and them identifying that and taking action to help and support themselves is a progress towards better direction in their health and wellness goals. So getting to what's within your control in your house, within those four walls of your house, what is beneficial and what potentially is not beneficial. I remember a few years ago, I had a client, I'll call her Susie. I always have a client named Susie or Susie Chapstick. And someday I might have a client named Susie, but I've never had a client named Susie, but I'll call her Susie. So Susie had a daily habit before she started coaching with me of eating a candy bar every day, right? So she would have a somewhat healthy breakfast, somewhat healthy lunch, but she would get hungry or she would have a craving for a candy bar, and she was working remotely. And so she would go to her freezer and she would open her freezer and have a candy bar. This was pretty much a habit that she had established for years. And we talked about this specific habit and how it was potentially a detriment to her health, obviously all the sugar, etc. And she really wanted to minimize this habit. Like, how can she eliminate this habit altogether, or how can she maybe even just have less candy bars? And I asked her what she could do. And a lot of times in coaching, we're really asking the answers from the client because the client really knows best, honestly. I asked her, I said, so Susie, what do you think you can do? What's maybe one small thing to minimize the chances that you're going to get candy bars over the course of the next week or two? I was coaching her on a bi-weekly basis. And she said, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the candy bars that are in my freezer and I'm going to put them in the freezer in my basement. So I guess she had a refrigerator freezer in her basement. And she said, that's all I'm really going to do because that's going to help me to minimize the number of candy bars that I'm going to have. Well, I was thinking, well, that's probably not going to be a big deal at all. She's just going to walk, 10 steps downstairs and get her candy bar then instead of walking to the freezer. The next time I called her, I had such a revelation on our coaching call. 2 weeks later, she had one candy bar because every time she thought about having the candy bar, she really didn't want to walk downstairs. As humans, we want to avoid pain, we want to pursue pleasure, and we want to do that with the least energy as possible. And Susie, putting the candy bars downstairs in the freezer helped her significantly to minimize the number of candy bars she got. Remember, she was having probably 10 to 14 candy bars over the course of the 2 weeks between sessions. And she, in 2 weeks' time, just by putting it downstairs, was able to minimize that to one. And that continually, significantly made that impact over the course of the long haul. So think about what you can do for those things within the four walls of your house to support yourself with the environment that's inside your house. Here's just a few items that I want to suggest to you. Just think about them. Maybe there's something here that resonates with you. Some people have nuts or candy as bowls around their house just because when they're snacking or they want to snack, they just grab that. If you remove those nuts, which aren't bad, but sometimes they get too much salt in them. If you remove the nuts and certainly remove the candy and replace that with a bowl of fruit, the chances are significantly greater that you're going to be consuming more fruit, more fiber, more healthy foods, etc., versus the salty nuts or the candy, right? Just that one switch can make a big difference to your environment. I have a program called Kitchen Cleanup as well that I offer for my clients if they're interested. And the Kitchen Cleanup is really taking the time to go through your kitchen and removing the junk. And most of us, myself included at times, have junk food and candy and cookies and cakes, etc. in our environment. As Chef AJ says, and I've shared it on videos in the past, if it's in your house, it's in your mouth. So please understand that going through the kitchen cleanup and minimizing or eliminating that stuff altogether can significantly impact and support yourself with trying to be more healthy. So when you're hungry, you're reaching for the healthier food, the fruit, the vegetable, something that's more healthy versus the unhealthy junk food that's no longer in your house. Another aspect with the environment, just a suggestion, is you want to walk in the mornings. So you create the environment before you go to bed by putting your walking shoes and your running clothes on right by your bed. So when you wake up, you literally spend 30 seconds putting your clothes and your shoes on and you're ready to go. You've created that environment to support yourself right before you go to bed. Something simple like that can make a significant difference of taking that first step, both literally and figuratively, towards better health. One other idea is some people like to write in their journal, but often forget throughout the week. So just taking your journal to help you with gratitude, mindfulness, ways that you can celebrate because you want to write in that journal, let's say 3 or 4 times a week, just for 5 minutes, putting the journal in a place that's more prominent where you're going to see it, right? Some people will have it stowed away and they go and get it. That's right. That's where it is. Just putting that where you want to, just putting that where you can see that can help you significantly to be jotting in that journal, which helps your wellness with mental health and wellness as well. And the last thing I want to share with you, just an idea and suggestion. This one's probably a little bit over the top for some of you, but that's okay. And that is, if you have a treadmill or if you have any type of workout equipment, could be bands, it could be a step platform, it could be a treadmill, right? If you put that in your living room in front of the television set, the chances that you're going to be able to use that while you're watching TV, while you're watching a Netflix show is significantly greater, just to create the environment to help and support yourself with movement. So those are just a few ideas and suggestions of what you can do within the 4 walls of your house to help you with movement and the environment to support yourself. I wanted to share that with you today because the environment is so incredibly important, and knowing what control you have over it and can help yourself significantly to help you with your health and wellness goals. So I'd like to hear from you. Where in your environment within your house can you make some steps to help and support yourself? Where's the obstacle potentially in your house that's maybe challenging, that can hurt you or be a detriment to your health and wellness goals? Feel free to put your comments below. I'd love to hear from you and support you in that capacity as well. If you like this video, I'd love you to give it a like, as well as potentially even share it, and subscribe to the channel. I'm weekly putting out longer videos to help and support individuals to make changes into their lives. Thanks so much for watching today. Really appreciate your time. I'm also open to feedback. If you've got something you want me to share with you, if you've got a topic or title of something that maybe would be helpful for you, please let me know. I'm putting these videos out probably about once every week. Thanks so much. Take care. God bless.